Okay, folks. So it's kind of a quick Throwback Thursday, so to speak. I want to highlight and share this capture from August 17th of 2019 again of something that was drifting through the southern skies here over the valley. It was drifting very, very slow. And there were a couple of curious things that occurred. There was a very small object that came drifting down very slowly that I highlighted in previous videos. Because I had, featured this in a couple of videos where I pulled out the frames and adjusted the color and, kind of tried to show a little bit more of what might have been going on up there at the time. But it moved very, very slowly. And at the time when I presented this, everybody was just so quick. They wanted it to be this, the whole topic and everything that everybody just wanted to accept was, UFO, UAP, and all of this stuff, aliens and all of that. And, that's fine. I don't have a problem if people want to have that opinion and that belief. But, it was very interesting because the comments and everything, when I presented this video as something other than that, as possibly being something like maybe some kind of a weather balloon or something that had a payload that was tethered and it was drifting a little bit too low and blah, blah, blah. Another theory that I had was that it was in one of those suborbital tests. And it was kind of interesting because at the time in 2019 when I captured this, I did some research into some of the technologies and things that were being developed at the time and the companies that were developing these suborbitals. And the X-37B was still listed as unknown orbit, unknown location. And then I put this video out in 2019. Well, lo and behold, 6 months later, NASA and Wikipedia and their databases are all updating to say that it was known. As of 2020, it was known to exist with classified payloads. But, more specifically in this particular capture here, there's another company that I came across called the Sierra Nevada Corporation, and I came across them quite a while ago. But their research and everything into suborbitals and what they call their dream chaser, I find very curious. And I have to wonder if maybe they were testing something. And when I presented that idea and that theory, it was so violently rejected by people and by these communities because, almost within minutes after I had uploaded the original video of this capture, I had so many comments of people like quoting scripture and people talking about spiritual stuff and they're here and praise all of this and everything. And it's like not one person, I couldn't find one person at the time that was willing to even possibly consider the theory that this was some kind of a test of something that maybe it was in distress, that maybe it had some issues propagating and operating and functioning up in the upper atmosphere where there's all this intense energy and everything. And you look at it and you kind of see the shape and the outline of a balloon and stuff, and that's where the mind wants to go. But when I was looking at this a little bit closer, there's a shadow and an outline on the underside of that entire structure right there that to me, and this is my theory, to me it kind of looks like it could be one of those so-called suborbitals that didn't exist, kind of drifting upside down with the bay doors open and a payload suspended up, like maybe a Tesla thing. I don't know. That's one of my theories on what this was. But I just, right now at a time when everybody's talking about all of these weather balloons and stuff, and now you have people like MonkeyWorks covering this stuff almost on a daily, highlighting some of these, high altitude balloons and stuff. I find that curious too, because back in 2019, there weren't a whole lot of people covering this stuff. And the ones that were we're getting shadow banned and censored heavily. I was unsubscribed so many times from so many channels that, you know, aligned to aligned with some of the theories that I was putting forward at the time, and I was trying to connect with that community, but it just seemed like the platforms just didn't want me to make that connection with anybody. And now that more people are kind of, you know, waking up to the idea of these things drifting over us, because it's, you know, they said it was Chinese, so was this Chinese, whatever this was too? And has it been Chinese on all of the other times that I've captured what looks like these things drifting through? I mean, I have to put this out there again, because this investigation into this and what this was drifting over back in August of 2019 is still ongoing. And I'm getting ready to do an updated report and a follow-up letter to the first report that I sent out. So I wanted to put this out there again for the people. I'll put a link in the description to the original video and maybe to a couple of the breakdown videos if I can come across them again. But, you know, they've been drifting this kind of stuff up over our heads for a while. And now that more people are becoming aware of it and more people are looking up, I'm expecting to see more people showing images like what we were seeing of that so-called Chinese spy balloon with the payload hanging down. And I really hope so, because I don't doubt for a second that there's a whole lot of footage of these balloons. They document it themselves. They have all of that video footage and everything on file themselves, where the students that put these payloads together in these little experiments that they drift up over there, they have live cameras and everything that are tracking these things that they drift up there all the time. There's data and shit that's stored on that, and it is there, and it's gonna start getting released. You watch, mark my words, you're gonna start seeing more of the images like what you call the so-called Chinese spy balloon. But really, what you're gonna be seeing is their historical archived records of their testing and of their missions and of their deployed systems that they've been drifting over our heads for decades, folks. This is not anything new to people that have been paying any kind of attention to the skies and any kind of attention to some of the news that comes out from some of these agencies. So just saying, keep a heads up, because they're gonna start amping this shit up hard. And which side are you gonna be on? Because I'm trying to stay grounded in reality to get actual answers. I'm not looking to speculate that this is something that came from some outer spaces out there. All right? Somebody knows exactly what this is. And I'm not willing to just accept that, oh, it was just a Chinese balloon that we allowed. No, sorry. Wrong answer. Not buying it. Not even for $1. Anyway. Rant over. Sorry. Here's a little tip. Don't bet on the footballs, folks. That shit's scripted all day long.